Hi guys, today I'm going to share a couple tips of what to do when you're experiencing very heavy periods. I've had a handful of questions this week about this specifically, so I figured it was time, let's talk about it. So here's a few things when it comes to a heavy period. Is this like the first time you've had a heavy period? It was one cycle, or is this something that's been going on for long periods of time? So there is a certain point that you definitely need to actually go see your doctor. So if you have nonstop bleeding for longer than 7 days of your cycle, and this is happening more than once, you should go see your doctor to have everything checked out to make sure everything's okay. With a lot of heavy bleeding, this can actually get quite dangerous and you can become anemic. So if this is a normal thing that's happening on a monthly basis, like maybe your cycle is 5 days or 7 days, but it does end, but you just happen to have a heavy period, that's what I'm going to be speaking to, not when you're bleeding all month long. If you're bleeding all month long, please go see your doctor. Okay, so we're just gonna talk about kind of regular heavy periods. You're getting your period on time, this happens every month, but you happen to be on the heavier side, you have dark blood, you have clotty blood, it's just flowing. Okay, so there's a couple different things to consider here. The first is there are some dietary changes that you can make that will help to reduce the heaviness of your period and the flow of your period. Now, I'm not saying to reduce these things because they're unhealthy. I'm saying to reduce these things because every single time that we've suggested this, that these women's periods have lightened up and become less flow. So the first thing is to stop eating red meat. I understand grass-fed red meat is awesome, and you're probably craving it because you're losing so much blood every month, and I get that. But if you can cut out the red meat, cut out the pork, any of those heavier meats, increase the amount of fruit that you're eating, and increase the amount of vegetables that you're eating. There goes my oven. Increasing the fruit, increasing the veg, increasing the amount of fiber that you're eating, I think this will make a big difference. And so you will notice it by next cycle. Now you're wondering, what do I do for iron? Because I have been losing a lot of blood. You can keep the other meats, the lighter meats, the fish in your diet. You can also just make sure you're eating a lot of green leafy vegetables and a lot of vitamin C. You need that vitamin C to absorb that iron, but you can get iron from other sources, animal sources such as fish, chicken, so on. And this is to help to lighten your period. You could also supplement with a whole food iron. I love Mega Foods Blood Builder. That one has worked fabulous for us and our clients. So that's something you can do to help with the loss of iron. Another thing to consider is reducing estrogen from your environment and from your lifestyle. So xenohormones can be found in hair dye, skincare products, pesticides, herbicides that are found in meat products, animal products, and also chemicals. So switching out your house cleaners, that's a big one, and just going all natural. The good news is there's so many natural alternatives now for all those categories that work and have really good results. I remember when I first started getting into makeup and skincare, our options were really low and the quality was not up to par with kind of the brand names. And now natural companies and natural brands work just as good. So, and they're a lot safer, and there's a lot of affordable ones. So switching those things out helps a lot to reduce the excess estrogen load. How that actually will stimulate growth. So estrogen in the body stimulates growth. That will make a thicker uterine lining, and that will thus, in turn, create a heavier period, because your period is you shedding the lining that has built up in your uterus that is preparing for the implantation of the embryo. So protein, especially red meats, increases that growth, as does estrogen. So we want to help the body to reduce excess estrogen by removing xenohormones. Learning about phytoestrogens. Phytoestrogens are really misconceived. I'm going to do another video on that, but there's a lot of misconceptions about that because phytoestrogens, people think they increase estrogen. What they're going to do is phytoestrogens are going to go and they're going to meet up with the estrogen receptor sites in the body, but they have a much weaker stimulating estrogen effect within the body. So if that takes up the receptor site, then the xenoestrogen from our environment, from hormones, pesticides, these things in our skincare, so on, will not be able to go to the receptor site and have that very strong stimulating effect. A xenoestrogen has a way bigger estrogen stimulating effect than phytoestrogens do. So that's something to keep in mind. You can look at our website and look at a whole list of what phytoestrogens are, how to use them, but that's how you can use them to actually reduce the estrogen load that your body's having to deal with. Another thing is fiber. I mentioned this before, but making sure you're increasing your fiber, that is the way that your body gets rid of excess hormones, is the fiber works as a big brush, and then you excrete them out. So you can also look into some supplements such as DIM. DIM helps to decrease estrogen within the body and help the body in its natural process of reducing estrogens and removing them from the body. Now, when it comes to actually being on your period and you experiencing a heavy flow, there are some herbs that you can use that are going to be astringent that help to slow down that blood flow. So one of them is going to be yarrow and the other one is shepherd's purse. Both of these are very strong astringent herbs that help to slow things down and help to lessen that bleeding. I think this is something that's great to help in the moment. This product that contains both of these herbs you can find at naturalfertilityshop.com. It is called Slow Flow, but this is not the, I would suggest this with the whole protocol. This is gonna just help you in the moment to help to reduce a heavier flow, but it's not going to address the underlying cause, which all these other tips have. So I hope you found this helpful. This is something that you can try. It's going to take a little bit of time, but you should really see some changes by the next cycle. It might not be completely normal yet, but you should see some changes. All right, I hope you guys found this information helpful, and I'll talk to you soon again.